What's going on, everyone? Today is the day in which the Lakers can finally start looking to make some trades. Today is the 15th. Depending on when you're watching this video, it may have already passed. A trade could technically happen at any point, right? You could be watching this video and we could be getting news. Maybe when you're watching this video, it's already happened. Now, personally, I don't necessarily think anything's going to happen today. I would love it. I would love if later today, after you're watching this video, you get a, hey, this just happened, right? I'm hoping my second video later is some news that the Lakers made some type of trade, even if it's not like the big blockbuster trade that we're all hoping for. But look, at the end of the day, I fully trust Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka now has basically everyone at his disposal. Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura are now officially trade eligible. But we're still a long way between now and the trade deadline. And the Lakers are not in a position where they can wait for the trade deadline. The Lakers have been terrible. They still have like 12 games between now and the trade deadline. And the Lakers could easily lose the way that they're playing right now, like 8 of them. So now you're 6 games under 500, right? And it's like, at that point, your season's over, right? You're like the 13th seed, and it's like, what's the point, right? Why even do a trade? You might as well just wash this season, and then come draft day, you'd have 3 firsts that are tradable. So at that point, like Donovan Mitchell may become available and you go get him, right? But I think that the Lakers need to do something sooner rather than later. And I'm hoping that something does happen. Again, I have full trust, full belief in Rob Pelinka. If he can get something done ASAP, then he's going to get something done ASAP. He's going to remain patient. He's going to remain smart. He's not going to get fleeced or screwed on a deal. But when you're in a position of panic, right, in desperation, you don't have a ton of leverage. You're not in a great position to kind of, hey, well, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. Now, curious to see what will happen. Obviously, the big trades would be one centered around DeJounte Murray, one centered around Zach LaVine. These are the 2 guys that are just heavy in the spotlight as far as trade targets for the Lakers. Obviously, you need more than just one of these 2, right? Can you, with Zach LaVine, get an Alex Caruso and an Andre Drummond, right? With DeJounte Murray, can you get like a Clint Capella and a Bogdan Bogdanovic, right? If you could do something like that and flip something like that to where, yes, you're unloading, say, 4 or 5 players plus whatever picks or whatever is involved in that type of trade, but you're getting back, 3 pieces that are just upgrades and positions of need, and you get that consistent go-to third guy that can help LeBron James and Anthony Davis, then I think you need to get it done, right? Whatever it takes at this point. Because it's unfortunate. I mean, the expectations were so high this season. The Lakers roster just looks so just prime, ready to go. And unfortunately, it's just been a real disappointment, right? I mean, the Lakers have the same record that they had this time last season. And that roster was a bunch of 6'1" guards and didn't make any sense. And it was like, well, we're waiting for the trade deadline. And it's unfortunate we're in the same position. We're once again here waiting for the trade deadline. And it's not something that I expected. It's not something that many expected. And look, there's plenty of people that talk and, oh, I knew this was coming, blah, blah. I tried to tell you, like, you didn't know. Just like we didn't know. Most people are just, of course, you're going to get the haters that are like, oh, hey, we were right. But, hey, if every day you say every year you say the Lakers are going to be bad, more times than not, you're going to be right? Because every team is that way. Just like, oh, well, you're never going to win a championship, right? Like, if every year you say we're not going to win a championship, more times than not, you're going to be right. Because, you're not going to win every year. But it is unfortunate because I thought that the Lakers would be better this year. But you got to make a big move. You got to go get a Zach LaVine or DeJounte Murray. Again, I have questions about DeJounte Murray and his fit, but if you can get some other pieces, then I do think, like, if you can get DeJounte Murray, Bogdanovic, and Clint Capella, as some rumors that are going around, some reports have suggested we can, if we are willing to give up Austin Reeves, then I do kind of lean towards that, because although I think Zach LaVine is the better fit and the better scorer out of everybody between Bogdanovic, Murray, and Clint Capella individually, and I do think, you get your serviceable backup. I really like the idea of Alex Caruso if you can get that. But a couple things. One, can you get Alex Caruso and Andre Drummond? which I do think Andre Drummond is more realistic than Alex Caruso. But 2, outside of Zach LaVine, DeJounte Murray, Bogdanovich, and Clint Capella are upgrades amongst everyone else, right? Like, again, Zach LaVine might be a better fit than DeJounte Murray, but Clint Capella is a definitive upgrade over a Andre Drummond. And Bojan Bogdanovich, although is not the defender that Alex Caruso is, gives us like our dead-eye shooter and just a guy that go give you 20 a game. I just think the Utah package, if you could get those 3, is better than the Zach LaVine trade, right? And more likely Zach LaVine. However, I do like the Zach LaVine fit with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Although I think, again, if you can get the DeJounte Murray deal with those other 2 guys, I just think the upside with all 3 of those is higher. And then even post LeBron, I think is higher. Because now you'd still have, if LeBron retires in 2 years, you have DeJounte Murray, you have Bojan Bogdanovich, or not Bojan, Bogdan Bogdanovich. You'd have Clint Capella, Anthony Davis, and then at that point, you're just trying to find like a 2 guard or something, right? So I think you're in a great shape for now and the foreseeable future. However, I do believe that the Zach LaVine trade is very likely going to be cheaper as far as the assets we have to give up. It's also been heavily reported that the Bulls still really want to get off of Zach LaVine, and that they're probably going to have to give up stuff to unload Zach LaVine. So if that's the case, you probably at least get Andre Drummond. And on top of that, you're probably not going to have to give up a first or anything else. I mean, technically, you could get both of them, right? So and that's something I'm going to definitely be keeping an eye on, right? So like, let's say the Lakers trade for Zach LaVine. And let's say it's, D'Lo, Rui, Gabe Vincent, maybe you're throwing in Max Christie and you're getting back, maybe or whatever, right? You're throwing in the salaries and maybe you're getting back Zach LaVine and Andre Drummond, right? But if we still have our first and we still have Austin Reeves, it's like, well, okay, maybe we can turn Reeves and that first into DeJounte Murray and maybe like a Sadiq Bey, right? Because you could throw in like a Taurean Prince, you'd still have other pieces, a Jalen Hood-Schifino, whatever. So Lakers could theoretically get both guys. Now, will that happen? It's very unlikely. I don't want people to get their hopes up, but it is a very real possibility. And supposedly the Atlanta Hawks really want Austin Reeves badly. So if you can get Zach LaVine first, or vice versa, let's say the Lakers trade for DeJounte Murray. They trade for DeJounte Murray and they don't get Clint Capella and Bojan Bogdanovich. To me, just my thoughts, to me that would signal the Lakers are going to go get Zach LaVine. But another big thing is I think the Lakers could get Zach LaVine right now, where Murray, you might not be able to get till the trade deadline. So my bet would be that Zach LaVine would be the quickest trade that the Lakers could do. Now, again, I could be wrong. It's just a guess. And look, I would love it. If we get both of these, let's get both of them. If we only get one of them, but you got to get other pieces along with it. Even if you're just trading for DeJounte Murray and you're going and getting, Andre Drummond and you're going to go get, like a Dorian Finney-Smith or something like whatever it is, whether it's a 2-team deal, a 3-team deal, a 12-team deal, I don't care. Upgrade the roster. Get it done, right? The other alternative, though, besides the big moves, is you just go get some smaller moves, right? Which you could do now. Think of last year. Did the Rui Hachimura trade. And then you went and got the several other, you did the big deal, the big Russell Westbrook trade, the blockbuster trade, and then you had a couple other small trades, right? The Lakers could do something similar, where maybe you just go get a Royce O'Neal, or you just go get a Dorian Finney-Smith, and or maybe you get both, and then you still have the pieces to maybe go pull off a Zach LaVine trade or something like that, right? That is always a possibility, right? So the Lakers have options. The Lakers have flexibility. Maybe it's somebody we're not thinking of. Maybe it's somebody out of left field. I've thrown out the idea of maybe going and getting a Miles Bridges, right? Maybe you get Miles Bridges, right? Maybe you're just getting Sadiq Bey from Atlanta for a cheap deal, right? Because they want to get off of Sadiq Bey, right? Maybe you're doing something like that, and it's just a small, minor move that doesn't look like it's going to have this huge impact, and it's like, nah, that can't be all the Lakers are doing, but they're just trying to kind of position themselves for the bigger trade, work out the details and stuff like that, but get something that maybe can help and have at least a minor impact right now, right? Because look, the Lakers need, even if the Lakers go and trade for Zach LaVine right now, right? Or they trade for just DeJounte Murray right now, either of those guys, like the Lakers will be better, but they're not going to be that much better. Like they're not going to all of a sudden be a contender. Like the Lakers need several pieces. But now if you could get a DeJounte Murray and a Zach LaVine, well now those two combined are just that big of an impact, right? Now at that point, I still would have questions about the fit with all four of those guys, but if it works, then yeah, you're terrifying at that point. But there's always, again, like I mentioned, the smaller, minor deal. You got to get LeBron James and Anthony Davis help. If LeBron was showing real decline and, he looked like he was not the guy he once was, maybe I'd feel differently. Maybe I'd be in the camp of like, hey, let's do something else. But LeBron is playing the most efficient basketball he has played since he was with Miami. And Anthony Davis is playing the best basketball he's played since he was with or in the bubble. Right? So you basically have bubble AD and you have he doesn't have the impact, right? He can't completely control every element of the game like he did in Miami, but as far as his ability to shoot and his efficiency, I mean, this is the best LeBron we've seen in a while, a long time. And so I believe that you owe it to these two to do whatever you have to put them in the best position to win. You just got to get to the playoffs. Look, I've said this, and I fully stand by it. If the Lakers just get to the playoffs, I will take my chance. Even if the Lakers don't make any trades, if they could just get into the playoffs, I would take my chances with a healthy LeBron and a healthy AD, especially the way they're playing right now. Now, I do fully expect the Lakers to make a trade, but you got to get these two to the playoffs. Get these two to the playoffs, and then you let the cards fall, right? But we got to get there. And the only way I see us really getting there is if we make a significant trade or trades, right? Because again, we either need to go get 3 or 4 guys that can come in and be real starting level. Because I mean, if you went and did the Hawks trade with like DeJounte Murray, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and Clint Capella, I mean, you could start all 3 of those guys alongside LeBron and AD easily. I'm not super sold on LeBron playing the 3 at this stage of his career. I mean, there's a reason he's playing the 4 right now at his stage of his career, just his age and having to chase around younger. But, I mean, you got to do what you got to do at this point, right? If the Lakers were in a better position, then great. Or maybe you bring, Clint Capella. I don't know how Clint Capella would feel coming off the bench, and he's making like $20 million a year. Or Bogdanovic, I guess you could bring off the bench and maybe, go with like a Jared Vanderbilt and hope that you have enough offensively. But I don't know. Like the point is you get the talent and you figure it out. Get the talent and figure it out from there. Whatever it takes. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. So I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Think a trade gets done today? Again, personally, don't get your hopes up. I'd love if it happens. Hopefully it happens. But again, expect one. I think but this time next week, we probably have some type of trade. Whether it's like Zach LaVine or Murray, or it's like, that was out of left field. Like I mentioned, like Miles Bridges or something. But however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.